Last year at this meeting, we gave out the Charles English Award, and the recipient on that occasion was Myrna Raeder. And you've seen Andy now receive the Charles R. English Award this year. And it was, as Cynthia said, just shortly after we left our meeting that we heard of Andy's passing, and Myrna passed. They both passed within about 3 months of each other. And I think that the fact that both of them are English Award winners. Myrna served as our chair, and Andy was on pace to serve as our chair when he passed away. I think that speaks to, in some way, the loss that we feel as a section and the motivations that we had in creating an award that would recognize them and pay tribute to them and our loss, the loss that we feel, and that also would recognize the invaluable service that academics make to the improvement of the criminal justice section and the criminal justice system through their teaching, their writing. And so we wanted an award that recognized a body of work that did tribute and did justice to the memory of our lost colleagues. Janet Levine and I were the co-chairs of the awards committee. And I will tell you that when you create a new award, you want to make sure that the recipients, and particularly the first recipient of the award, sets the standard upon which others are measured. And I think that we have accomplished that. We were extremely proud as a committee to see the quality of the nominees that we received, and we hope that we will have the opportunity to see them renominated again, because they were truly outstanding nominees. As Cynthia mentioned, we're happy tonight to be joined by Tom Kelly, Myrna's son, who received the English Award last year on her behalf. And Tom, if you'd like to say a few words.
Unfortunately, my father, Terry, and my brother, Mike, couldn't be here, but I just want to say how meaningful it is to me and my family that everyone here is still thinking of my mom. This organization, the ABA, and specifically the criminal justice section, just meant so much to her. The relationships she made here and the achievements that the section has accomplished. So it's just really thrilling that everyone is still thinking of her. This award ceremony, and then also there's a symposium at Southwestern next month. So it just means so much to us to see that people are still remembering my mom, and I know she would really be thrilled to be on this award, and especially to be on it with Professor Taslitz, who I knew she really respected. And I'm sure she'd also be thrilled that Professor Saltzburg was the first recipient, and she also really respected him. So thank you, everyone.
And I asked Patty if Patty had any comments that she would like to make with respect to this award, and she has indicated that she would like to make a few comments.
Thank you. When I first learned in March that Andy was receiving the English Award, I was very, very happy. But when I heard that this award was being named after him and Myrna, I was deeply touched. They were both ex-New Yorkers. They were very good friends. They both served on many committees together. And for me, the fact that his name and her name will always be joined together, and that Professor Saltzburg is the first awardee, it's just such a perfect combination for the first award. And it just shows the thoughtfulness of the section in creating this award specifically for academics and naming it after two of my favorite academics, Myrna and Andy. So I thank you. This award means more to me even than the English Award. Thank you so much.
Well, I feel very blessed and honored to be in a position to present the first Raeder-Taslitz Award, and I'm going to be presenting it, as you all know, to Steve Saltzburg. So Steve, come on forward here. I'm going to have to say a few things about you. I think that many of you know Steve. In fact, I would actually probably be shocked if there was anyone in this room that did not know Steve. That's the thing about Steve. And probably most of you know most of his resume because it is so amazing and so impressive. He's a graduate of Penn Law School. He clerked for Justice Marshall on the U.S. Supreme Court. He was a member of the faculty of the University of Virginia Law School. I think he started teaching when I was 10 years old. He spent almost 20 years there and then moved to GW Law School. And so I think he's been a professor now for almost 40 years.
Hard to say that.
Also true. Took some time out to work for the Department of Justice in some high leadership positions there. He served as the Deputy Associate Attorney General for the Criminal Division. He was a member of the Sentencing Commission, the Attorney General's ex officio member of the Sentencing Commission during the initial formulation of the guidelines. I say that Steve is a prolific writer, but that just doesn't even do it justice. Steve has written more than 25 books. Steve's written more than 100 articles. So he's written more books than most of us have read articles. So he doesn't seem to sleep much because in addition to being, of course, an awesome law professor and a prolific writer, he's also a mediator. He's a litigator. He's a rules committee member. He's an expert in the laws of evidence and criminal law and criminal procedure. He is a tireless advocate and member of this section. I would not be standing here but for Steve. He found me and grabbed me and recruited me into the section. And I suspect that may be true for many of us in this room. So I feel like even though Cynthia and I are the chairs of the section, Steve is the leader of the section. And so it is just simply an honor to happen to be the chair at the time that this award was created, and when it is presented to Steve, I think that many of you all would be equally well suited to make these remarks. So I feel simply blessed that I was in a position to do so. And so it's, of course, only fitting that the first Raeder-Taslitz Award be presented to Steve, and it's my pleasure to do so.
Tom, my wife Susan, and my son Mark are here. I think I sent an email. I didn't know I was nominated for this award. I didn't know I was getting this award until Jim called me and said, we have a little problem, which was that Patty was expecting to get this, the English award yesterday, and they wanted to switch it till today, and that's when Jim had to tell me I was getting this award. So I think I sent an email out saying that it's an honor to be in the company of Myrna and Andy, and I mean that. They were wonderful scholars. They were great people. They truly fought for civil rights for minority rights, for the rights of everybody. And they not only were scholars, they were people who wanted to make the law meaningful for everyone who happened to step foot in this country. And I'm pleased and honored to be associated with them. Normally I tell people, when you get an award, just say thank you and get out of the way, because that's what most people want. But if I did that right now, it would do a disservice to the fact that this is the first time this award's been given. And I want to talk briefly about the ABA and this section and what it means to me, because this is like a home for me. I mean, I love the ABA, I love this section. I'm proud of what we do. And one of the things about it, and I know that Myrna and Andy, if they were here, we'd be a chorus saying this, that if people are honest in the section, what they would tell you is, when they first step foot in, I don't care whether if it's Matt Riedel or Matt Heck, they first come in as a prosecutor, they look around and they wonder, what's it going to be like having to work with these academics and these defense lawyers? I mean, I've been fighting the defense lawyers and ignoring the academics for years. I mean, so what's that going to be like? And I think the truth is, we academics, Bruce Green was there, I think he'd agree, that you wonder whether your voice will be meaningful to them. Because we're not out there every day on the firing lines, particularly with massive, caseloads that some of our prosecutors and defenders have to deal with, and Ed, you know that, Chicago. And then the defenders, the same thing. They're being asked to come in and essentially associate and deal with people who are their adversaries outside of here. And it takes a while. You feel each other out, and suddenly, I will just tell you, people change as a result of their membership in this section. They trust more than they did before they became members. I mistakenly said once, or maybe more than once, that young lawyers would, if you had to advise them, you would tell them, best advice if you have to have limited resources and you want to know where to spend your limited resources, do it at your local bar, because that's where you network and everything. There's still truth in that, but I wish truly that every young defender and every young prosecutor and every young academic could be here and witness the way in which the people in this section interact with each other. Because not only do barriers come down, but there's a level of success, competence, a level of achievement that the people who lead this section demonstrate every day. And if you want to know what it is to be great in your profession, then you look up to Myrna and Andy and our prosecutors and our defenders. I mean, I am just proud to be a member of them. I mean, it's a joy to be involved with this section. And one of the things you should know is I worked very hard. Bob Horowitz may not always have been happy with me about this, very hard to extend the life of every chair of this section by making them voting members for 5 years after their chair. And the reason for that was not because I wanted to be 5 years after I was chair. I was still in the House of Delegates from the section. I didn't want to see us lose that institutional memory, that camaraderie, that special feeling we have for one another. At the same time, we wanted to open up spots for younger people. And so we've done that. We have a chance for the leaders of this section to interact with those who come and join the section, enter the future. And that's been something that I think all of us are very proud of. I would just say, I look around the room and I think that some of you know that I'm not always, at least outwardly, the most emotional, expressive person when it comes to our personal interactions, but those of you who push beyond that kind of know that deep down I'm probably as sensitive as almost anybody in this section. And the personal interactions have meant the world to me and do every day. So I accept this award. I'm glad to be first. I'm probably, given the people who have followed me, maybe least, but the warmth that I feel and the responsiveness that I get and the support that I find all make my work in the criminal justice section nothing but a labor of love. And I say, again, Patty, I wish Andy could be here, and I wish Tom DeMyrna could be here. But I know that they got the same kind of feeling about this section. They had it. I shared it with them, and I look forward to sharing it with as many of you as I possibly can. And if you're not a member, still in this section, or you're just a guest, I hope you'll join. Even non-lawyers can be members of the ABA and members of this section, and I assure you there's no greater place to be. Thank you.